Dear student, today we are studying about the third unit, personal administration. This personal administration, under the personal administration, we are studying about the civil service and the recruitment. These two concepts. What are the civil servants? Civil service has become it is the steel framework of modern administrative system. Particularly in countries like with the parliamentary form of government, we are get an example of in India, the parliamentary form of government. In these countries, the ministers are not expert in the subject with which their departmental details. The each and every ministers are not as expert in their department, so civil servant help them. There are therefore to depend on the civil servant for carrying out the administration. The task of civil servant is a very complex situation, manifold and difficult. Today they are required to work in the state which cannot rule with the iron hand. The concept of welfare state has replaced the old concept of the police state. A civil servant is supposed to satisfy his political masters. On the other hand, the taxpayers on the other. What is the meaning of civil service? The term civil service was coined on the analogy of the military service and the police service. It differs from the later two in the mainly concern. It is a different from the civil service are those public services constituted by the government to translate all its plans and programs into implementable action. In India, the phrase civil service is used to denote the different classes of officers appointed by and paid for the government for general administrative work. Then features of the civil service. First one is professional. The most outstanding feature of the civil service is that it's a body of professional administrator. It is not one professional, but the sum total of many diverse professions which are engaged in a single aim, that is the implementation of the state policy. They are recruited on the basis of upon competitive examination. They are trained and skilled, so they are the professional people with a greater ability efficiency. Second point is hierarchy. Civil service is organized in a hierarchical manner. In this hierarchy, each member occupies a fixed position with a well-defined duties and the powers, salary and privileges. Here, each lower officer is under the control and supervision of the higher one. It creates a system of superior subordinates relationship under which each officer is accountable to his superior and his subordinate action. Then third one is permanent. Civil servants are recruited on the permanent basis. Once the civil servants are absorbed to the service, they get into the service, they remain it till their retirement. The ministers may come and go, but civil service continue to work till their retirement age. Then fourth one is political neutrality. Each and every civil servant, they are not supported by any political party in every country. The political neutrality is the absence of political bias. They should be neutral in politics, serve any kind of political regime without being allied to it. Civil servant brings their expert knowledge and experience to administration and not their personal or political preference. They have to serve any party which forms the government without fear or the favor. Then anonymity. Fifth point is anonymity. The civil servant always remain anonymous in discharging their duties. Under the principle of ministerial responsibility, the minister's concerned is held responsible for the work of official under him. What is praise or blame with the go to the minister, civil servants should not disclose their identity in any manner. Impartiality. Civil servants should work in partial manner. They should not make any discrimination while serving the individual or group. They should serve the people with the devotion and the singleness of purpose and without bias. Seventh point is civil servants are not responsible to the legislature. In the ministers, they are responsible to the legislature, but the civil servants are not responsible to the legislature. The official working under the labs in the administration, it is the minister concerned is answerable to the members of the legislature and it is not the public servant in any way. Functions of the administration, civil service. First one is the formulation and implementation of the public policy. The main function of civil service is the formulation and implementation of public policy. The civil service engages itself in collection of relevant data and information in order to identify the problems. Civil service, especially at the secretariat level, is considered a think tank of the government. They formulate the policies and tasks, ask the subordinate officials to implement the policies and see that the plans and policies of government are executed. Then second point is advice to the political executive. Ministers depends on the advice of their senior officials or of the information and knowledge on administrative matters. The political executive necessarily depends on the civil servant for the information he requires for in formulating his own programs. Then third one, quasi-legislative function. Modern states are welfare state. The activities of modern state have increased. The legislature is neither competent nor has the time to frame the administrative policies in detail. It delegates its lawmaking power to the executive. The executive asks the civil servant to form the rules to rulemaking is known as delegated legislature. Then quasi-judicial function. This is another important function, power entrusted in the executive due to the rapid technological developments. Emergence of welfare state. In the modern industrialized and urbanized society, the legal trained judges or ordinary courts cannot properly handle the settlement of highly technical issues of complex nature. Then fifth one, public service. Civil servant extend service to the general public. They are servant of the people and not their masters. They have to function and view to meet the various needs of the general public. They must develop the attitude of the public service. Then sixth point is public relation. Civil servants are supposed to remain to maintain good public relation. It is important part of their official duties. They are expected to explain the government policies to the people and to win their cooperation in its implementation. This relation is the public must be cordial and manual conform. Then redressal of public grievances. Civil servants should make the necessary action against the complaints from the public. Public should be allowed to the recorded their complaints in the complaint book maintained at public office. The office in charge must investigate into the complaints revised, received and the action taken to be informed by the complaints. Then second one is this is all about the civil service and second one is recruitment. Recruitment is a cornerstone of the whole public personnel structure. Recruiting the able administrator in a public service is an important personal activity. The reason is quite obvious. The pattern of initial recruitment into the public service determines largely the quality and career civil servant. So, the state requires a sound recruitment policy. The need for a sound recruitment and selective policy was the first realized in China. It developed a scientific system of recruitment through the competitive examination in second BC. In modern times, Prussia Prussia was the first to introduce a system of recruitment through open competitive examination. In our country, the system was introduced in 1853. Britain adopted in 1857. Now many countries followed this system. What is the meaning of recruitment? Recruitment is the first essential step in the selection process. In popular language, the term recruitment is used as synonymous for appointment, but this is not a correct. In the technical phrase of administration, recruitment means attracting the proper and suitable type of candidate for a particular job. This is called as a recruitment. Recruitment is the first step of employment program. The very purpose of recruitment to get the competitive and deserving candidate with keen interest to skill in a public service. Negative and the positive recruitment. In the beginning, when the spoil system was replaced by the merit system, the approach recruitment was largely negative. The recruitment policy was mainly designed in the key favoritism, nepotism, and the political influence. The negative approach is a failure to induce adequate number is of able candidate to apply for government jobs and gradually given rise to the tendency used to positive approach in matters of recruitment. Then methods of recruitment. First one, direct and indirect method. Direct recruit. We are concentrating on first one, direct recruitment. Under the direct recruitment, they are direct means recruitment through open competitive examination held by an independent public service commissions. It is also called recruitment from without or recruitment proper. Normally, lower posts in all services are filled by direct recruitment. The merits of direct recruitment. It accords with the democratic principle of giving equal opportunity to all persons. It is fair system. It does not discriminate against anyone. It broadens the area of recruitment. The source of supply is wider. So it is possible to select the best candidate from among a large number of applicants. Next one is it brings a new blood into the service with freshness of outlook and new ideas. Next one in the technical and professional field, development of new techniques require new entrant to provide leadership in the adoption of these techniques. Next, it also provides in motivations to those already employed for improvement in their qualification and get up to date knowledge. Next, these young people who have no precondition are also very adjustable to the needs of time. In the absence of direct recruitment of higher position, able young men passing out the universities can feel no attractive career in government service. Next, the demerits of the direct recruitment. It brings into the service men and women without previous administrative experience. So, it is not possible in administration. Incentive to good among those already employed is reduced. They are not seen of getting the higher post since they are thrown open in a direct recruitment. Third one is it places younger and experienced person over the senior and experienced employees. This causes much jealous and hurt burning among the senior employees in lower cadres. Next, fourth one, it damages the morale of those employees who fail to get the promotion. Next, fifth one, under this system is generally taken to examination or sales test or interviews which they are not this is judging the individuals. It is not enough to judging the individual ability. They cannot be considered as a foolproof method. Next, sixth one, public service commission or other recruiting agencies will be overburdened of all services recruitment is made from without. These all about the direct recruitment and the indirect recruitment. It is essential for the creation of the true career service in the government. Is a merit about the indirect recruitment. Next, the second one, it increases the opportunity for advancement within the service, the promotional opportunity. Third one is it secures a person with the past administrative experience for higher positions. Fourth one, it relieves the burden of public service commission. It avoids lengthy process of advertisement, security, scrutiny of applicants, examinations, interviews. Next, fifth one, it is re-establishes the personal relationship between the officers and the subordinate employees, which is lost or if recruitment is made. Next, the very expectation of promotion is rewarded for honest and intelligent worker, highlighting their morale. Then, what are the demerits in the indirect recruitment? This system confines recruitment only to persons who are already in service, so it narrows down the areas of selection. Next, only those persons who are comparatively old and are not lost much of their vigor energy promoted to the higher post. Then third one, it undermines the principle of equality of opportunity as recruitment is confined to those who are already in a service. Government employees is neglect the common citizens. Next, it is a government may not require the brilliant university product for the public service. Next, in technical and professional field, development of new techniques require new employees to provide leadership with the adoption of these techniques. These are the demerits in a indirect recruitment. Then qualification of the candidate. First general qualification, first one is citizenship. The citizens are appointed to the public service because citizens alone are patriotic and they are love about the nation. It is the first qualification. Second one is residence. Sometimes residential qualification are required for entering into the public service. It is also for the state service. The purpose of this qualification is to provide employment to the son of the soil. It is the aim to give the preferences for the local people in matters of the employment. This qualification began in the USA. Then 6. The public service was until recently under the sole monopoly of a man. Now men and women both are under the competitive examination. They get into the competitive examination and come under the civil service. Next, age. Age is highly important factor in recruitment to the civil service. It is a different in the different countries. In India, it is a 18 to 29 in a civil service examination, but in a USA, it is 18 to 45 years. They are not giving the age importance; they are getting the more importance to the experience. But India and Britain, they give the more importance to the younger generation. Next, the special qualification is a educational qualification. First one, educational qualification. The British and American system educations is a secondary, senior secondary school certificate. All these are determined by the bachelor degrees. These are education qualification are important to the civil service. Then experience means training to the candidate and acquired to the actual performance of the work. Second one is experience. Third one is technical knowledge. Is a means specialized abilities through the, for example, a civil engineers or doctors, lawyers or mechanics, technicians. All these are included in the technical knowledge. Then personal qualification, honesty, integrity, secrecy, maintaining the secrecy, and the scientific mode of thought. All these are important to the civil service. So it is also one of the qualification, personal qualification to getting the civil service. Then method of determining the qualification. Method of determining the qualification. Methods, the higher and fair system means that is personal judgment of the appointing officers. Second one is certification of the character, ability and educational qualification, certificate of the character. We are all know that the get the certificate, ability, the marks card, all these are important in the methods in the recruitment. Important to the recruitment. Then record of previous experience. Record of the previous experience, the whole record of work, both educational and professional of the candidate is also examined in a recruitment process. Then last one is the examinations. Examination, under the examination we are considered the written examination, oral examinations, then performance test, evaluation of education or interviews, we are called as interviews. All these are included in the recruitment process. This is all about the recruitment.